All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Melissa here. I have the day off from my cleaning. So I just want to talk about post abortive care again. So yesterday when I was cleaning, I had another flashback when I was cleaning the vacuum because the glass is clear on the canister. So the blood that I saw from my baby when I was a kid, that flashback came back. And although I keep saying, I'm wrapping up this post abortive stuff, I am moving forward, the more boundaries I set, the more memories are coming back. So I was thinking, Melissa, was it really that much blood? Was it just a little bit like a period, or was it a lot? And trying to remember, I'm like, no, I think it was a lot because you could see, so much blood. The whole canister was like full of blood. It wasn't like just a little bit of blood. I mean, it was just swirling around. And my, excuse me, my perspective was it was like full. I mean, I could be wrong. It could have been just like a small amount. But from what I saw on my side, it looked like a lot. So, I just got done listening to a YouTuber who talked about, she had a special guest on, Jesse Coomer, I think his name is, talking about breath work. You will find that in my community post, just focusing on breath work. So I've talked about panic attacks lately and like being in my son's car and just feeling like, oh my goodness, slow down, And a lot of that subconscious, I think, uh, fear came across because it was from the whole abortion experience. So you will find that you will still have symptoms if you do choose abortion. I think, you know, maybe with just like the pill, it doesn't seem at first the experience is going to be that scary. But for women who actually see their baby in the toilet, I can't imagine the kind of horror they are dealing with. So my channel talks about women's health and helping women in every single way. Um, Another thing I want to bring up is I had called the courts today to talk about how my husband took my savings account number and called the bank to investigate too. And stand up for yourself. I talked to the court and they're like, oh, we are sending back your bank statements because you didn't send them to the other party. And I'm like, no, I did. And I actually told you, I certified that I did send it. And she said, well, we don't have that. It's not on the bank statements. And I'm like, well, there is a piece of paper in there that says that. So she's like, we're sending it back. And I said, you can send it back and I will send a copy of the receipt from the post office that it was sent to him. So make sure along these lines you stand up for yourself. Like when I was in the car, I was like, could I have spoken up during my abortion? Could I have said, no, stop, don't do this? I don't know why, but I feel like I couldn't really have a voice. I felt like I couldn't say, put the brakes on. And I was thinking of how it happened so quick, too. My mother said, here, she threw like papers at me and said, just sign it, don't read it. And before I even got to finish signing it, the doctor came over. Someone called me and said, Melissa, we're ready for you. So the whole thing happened so fast. So that wanting that control of, I think things slowing down. I think the breath work that I just recommended, I already try to calm myself down. I have a very introverted personality, so I will usually try to calm myself down. But when you feel like, like I know for me, like one thing after another keeps happening. And I think that's a lot of the stuff that happened with my mother too. She had one thing after another always happening. And when you get to that point where you don't have the good coping skills, after a while, one thing after another is going to break you so much that you're just going to be acting surfacely, and our bodies are not machines. They are, an organism that is very complex. So, When you have a lot going on, you're just going to be way out there. You're going to be like, you don't have time to think, you don't have time to deal with stuff. And I think the way my mother presented my motherhood, the way she staged it was, don't tell me you're pregnant. That was done in a very scary way that didn't take into consideration that, it wasn't a problem. It was, I was now a mother, and it should have been a very positive thing. And someone left in my comments, I think if you had the love and support, you would have succeeded. And definitely, if it was presented a whole different way, like, we're here for you, we're going to get through this, we know that this was not planned, that kind of thing, I think the whole situation would have turned out differently. So I think as I fight for babies, and I think that's the first line of defense here that we need to take care of. We have Planned Parenthood talking about the lies. And I just saw a picture of a little baby. They had the technology to show the little baby in somebody's hand, and still with that placenta and everything around the baby. And you could clearly see it's not tissue, a blob of tissue. It's not, just a, a bunch of, just tissues. I mean, so I think when we see the truth, that's a huge movement forward, but we need to get the lie right away. We need to get these lies down. Like, if a girl is pregnant, like, oh no, what is she going to do? We need to understand women have the strength to deal with things that they don't expect. It's no different in many ways than anything else in life that can happen. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.